Hey guys, it's Annie, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is basically where I'm going to show you loads and loads of different yearly bullet journal spread ideas, because I know I do all of my yearly setups, but I thought I'd just compile all of those different spreads into this video and kind of do a flip through of different spread ideas that you guys can do, where I'll show you examples from like the last few years I've done in my bullet journals from back right when I started. Even before I started YouTube, I've got loads of bullet journals where I show you loads of those yearly spreads so you guys can get all the inspiration compiled into one video basically. So without further ado, be sure to like, subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell for more bullet journaling content from me, and let's get right to it. So hey guys, basically I'm going to be showing you different bullet journal yearly or new year spread ideas. So I'm going to be going through some of my past bullet journals. I've got 5 of my most recent ones from right at the start of 2020, even before I started my YouTube channel or anything. But yeah, so the first spread I've got to show you is a key, and this is the bullet journal I started right at the beginning of 2020. So this is the key spread I did for that year and this journal. My key has changed quite a lot since then. You will see that as I go through my more recent journals. So that is one key idea, I guess. They're pretty much the same layout, just a bit of variation, I guess, with like the different symbols I used, some of the doodles, fonts, all of that. Now we are on to the start of 2021, so this is more recent. This bullet journal I am currently using, I'm on the last week of December for this journal. This video is going up probably mid-January, so I would have finished with this journal by now, but yeah, this is the second half of 2021. I did go more minimal, as you can see, as time went on, and I just kind of kept the same one more recently just because that is what works for me. But obviously your key could be whatever you want it to look like, because obviously they're all going to be different. This is the key that I'm currently using. Well, as I said, I'm filming this last week of December, so New Year's is in like a couple of days. So we'll be moving into this journal in like next week, which is really exciting. So you can see I pretty much have the same for the last couple of journals just because I found a system that works for me. But obviously you can use different symbols for whatever symbols you need in your day-to-day life and for your to-do lists. So for these symbols, I will use them mostly in my weekly spreads. So in my weekly spread, for example here, I will just put the symbol. For example, if it's an event, say it's someone's birthday, I'll put the little triangle symbol, as you can see, and then I'll write like blah blah's birthday, you know? And then if it's a task, I'll just put that, and then the task, and then when I complete it, I can color it in. If I cancel, I can just cross it out. And if I want to make sure I get this done, I could just put an asterisk next to it so I remember that this is really important. And in terms of posts or different content, I would just put the symbol and then the name of the post or video or episode that's going to go up. So yeah, that's all of my keys. So now we are going to move on to some different cover page ideas. So the first one, this is right at the start of 2020, so you guys probably haven't seen most of the spreads that are in this journal from Tiger, just because I hadn't started my YouTube channel by then. I only started, I think it was like April 2020, so like kind of halfway through this journal. So this is one cover page idea. This was pretty simple, kind of more scrapbooky, less like artistic and sophisticated, but I still think it does have a nice doodly effect, which I really did like. I didn't do a cover page for the second half of the year, but I did do one now moving on to 2021. This is my first journal of the year. I did kind of like a single page cover page and then a quote. I would do this kind of layout in my monthly setups, but I kind of wanted to repeat it as well here, if that makes sense. So I did these kind of foil balloons, which is another really good idea for the new year. Next, for my second half of 2021, I did the same thing, but over 2 pages. And then underneath, I wrote chapter 2, just so I can kind of indicate to myself that this is my second bullet journal of the year, starting from, was it July? Yeah, starting from July. This was my second journal of the year, so I just write that down so I know. And I kind of kept with the same theme for the year, just so I know that these two go together. These two are my 2021 bullet journals. So I kind of kept with a similar theme. Next, which is my most recent one, which is 2022. This is, I literally set this up like a couple of weeks ago for next year. Well, this goes up. This will obviously be the current year, but this is super, super simple. I went for a really minimal and kind of more sophisticated cover page. I thought it turned out really cute, and when I do move on to my second bullet journal of 2022, I will probably do a really similar cover page just so they kind of have an ongoing theme throughout the 2 bullet journals of the same year, if that makes sense. Next I'll be talking about some different future log ideas that you guys can try out. So now I'm going to be showing you some really simple and different future log ideas that you guys can try out. Basically, this is kind of like a calendar, but for the entire month, so kind of like a year at a glance spread as well. I thought I've seen that also being called a year at a glance. But the first one, this was at the start of 2020. I just did all of the months, separated each page into 6, and then did each month, which I think is really simple, but I did end up kind of running out of space a bit there. But that's fine. This is pretty cute. I thought it did turn out a bit messy, just like with the writing and stuff, but I felt like that's not really a problem, as now I kind of lean more towards using like an erasable pen, but here I was just using a normal ballpoint, which didn't go really to plan because it did end up a bit messy, but you know, that's all right. Anyways, next we have got the second half of 2020. This was basically, I only did like the second half of the year for the bullet journals that were for the second half. As you can see, I only started from June or July in the case of the next couple of bullet journals, just because obviously I'd already passed those months. There's no point doing a calendar for months that have already passed, if it makes sense. But you can see that I only started from June here. Next, this is the start of 2020. I did a kind of Dutch door, and I did all of the days of the year, so I can kind of write down if I'm going on holiday. I can kind of do like an arrow or like you can see that. And I've got arrows for like long-term things that are happening, if that makes sense. But yeah, I thought this one was really, really cute, and the Dutch door design did really work for me, so I did end up repeating it. Next, we have got my second half of 2021. So yeah, I said I only did the second half of the months just because obviously the other months had passed. There's no point doing them. So I did just July. I split each page into 3. This one was pretty simple. Next is my 2022 future log. This is the one for the coming year or the current year if you're watching this when it is released. But I did another Dutch door just because last time it worked so well for me. I'm probably going to blur most of the events out just because obviously they haven't come yet, because this is next year, but this is so good. I can literally plan like for December next year, which is like really far away, which is really helpful, so I can write down any dentist appointments or doctor's appointments, anything that's like really far away that I will not remember, if it makes sense. Obviously I have my phone calendar as well for that, but this is also really helpful for stuff that isn't in the coming month that I can't put into my monthly or weekly calendars. Those are all my future log ideas. Next, we'll be doing some different goal planning spreads, which I think is really fun. So now I'm going to be showing you some different spreads that are really great for some goal planning at the beginning or midway through the year. All of these spreads are so different in the ways they're set up, which I felt like is really, really fun. So you guys will get loads and loads of different spread ideas and layouts that you guys can use. So the first one, this is once again at the start of 2020. I think I got this idea from Amanda H. Lee in one of her yearly bullet journal setups, but I decided to try it out here. I did a quote and then goal planners, where I did kind of like a column for the actual goal. So I write that out and then I'll put ways to achieve it, so I can actually like action this goal and I can physically like take it on and like actually get it done. Otherwise, if I just write down a random goal and it's not specific, I probably won't get it done, if that makes sense. So I feel like this was a really, really good actionable, like a really great way to make actionable goals and make things actually happen, which is really great. That's one idea. The next one, this is really, really simple. I didn't actually end up filling this in. This is just a random YouTube video idea spread. But the other half of the page, I did my mid-year goals. So I just did a kind of like a post-it note kind of design. As I said, I didn't end up filling this in, but I think it was really, really cute. But yeah, it's a really cute idea and super simple to set up as well. Next, this is for the start of 2021. I did 21 for 2021, so 21 goals for the year. I wrote down the numbers 1 to 21 and then just wrote down goals, and then I kind of ticked them off if I completed them. And yeah, that one is super simple as well, but I feel like it's really, really good as well. And it's super simple spread. But yeah. And then this is the most recent one. Obviously, I haven't filled this in yet just because I haven't got around to doing all of my goal setting for the new year. But when I do get around to doing that, probably in the next couple of days before the new year starts, I will fill this in. I'll probably end up doing like a mind map kind of design. So I would do a section for personal goals, for content creation goals, or like social media. And then for school, I'll just do different goals for different parts of my life. I can do wellness and health, fitness goals, all of that. I can just kind of separate it into different sections, which I feel like will also be really helpful. But yeah, I feel like this is super simple as well to set up, but once it's filled in, it will look really, really cute. Yeah, that is all of the goal spreads. Next, I'll be moving on to some year in pixel spreads, or kind of like mood trackers for the year. So next, I'll be showing you some kind of a year in pixel spreads. These are pretty much kind of like mood trackers for the entire year, if I can kind of see it a year at a glance. So I showed you the spread before. This is just a goal spread. Then I've got my 2021 in pixels. So basically I just have one small tiny little box for each day, I guess, and then I have a key and I can kind of just color it in. As you can see, I only filled in half of this just because then I moved into a new journal and didn't carry the spread through, which I'm not going to do this yet. I'll show you in the next spread. But yeah, that's why only half of it's filled in. But yeah, I think it will turn out really cute if I do end up filling up the whole thing. But yeah, basically it's kind of, I will put, when I fill in my mood tracker, I will kind of like, it will kind of be the same thing. But it's a way for me to see the entire year at a glance and the mood. Yeah, I kind of rambled for no reason there, but you guys know what I mean. Next, this is another spread that isn't actually filled in yet, but I did the same thing exactly pretty much as the last spread, just I didn't, I only did the months from January to June, because usually that is how long the one journal will last me. But obviously if you only do one journal for the entire year, then you can do all 12 months, but I only did 6 of them just because that's how it works for me. But yeah, hopefully when I fill this in, it will be nice and colourful and cute. And yeah, that's all of my 2022 or whatever year in pixel spread. So the next spread I'm going to be sharing with you guys is a reading log or a books tracker for the year. Basically, all you do is just write the title of the book, then the date and the 5-star rating, and obviously the author will go next to the title. But yeah, I've done this spread ever since the start of 2020 and carried it on pretty much in the same layout, just because it works so well for me. Yeah, I just did, this is the 2020, and then I carried it on in the next bullet journal, as you can see. So basically, as I said, you do the name of the book, then the author, then the date. Like I started it to the date I ended it, so how long it took me to read, and then the star rating. So I use this bullet journal spread along with Goodreads to track my reading. This is pretty much the same spread. I carried it on from the other half of the year and just kind of copied it all down. Yeah, that's the end of 2020. So as I said, I use Goodreads to track my books, and I also use this spread. And recently I just bought a reading log from Ink Outside the Box, which is Jack Edwards' stationery brand, and I'm so excited to use it for tracking my reading in 2022. And if that works for me, that's going to be great. If not, I'll probably end up setting up a whole entire reading journal, but hopefully the one I bought will work out and I can buy that every year, I guess. So this is the start of 2021. Yeah, I originally did them out of 10, but then I moved across and carried on with the star ratings. So I feel like one that worked better for me, and I can carry that same number or same like number of stars over to Goodreads, which just works better. Next, for the second half of 2022, I copied over the books from the other half of the year, but then I read more than I expected and had to move it on to this next spread, which was originally a films and series tracker, but I didn't really use it that much just because like I didn't need it. So I just carried it on pretty much, just kind of did a line and carried it on. So hopefully I'll finish these 2 books before the end of the year and I can start my next spread. So I probably will not leave lines in between each thing just because otherwise I will run out of space. And I did leave a blank space here in case I need another spread, or I can just do a quote or something there. But I just did another one of these spreads. Pretty much the same layout just because it works well for me. That's kind of all I need, but obviously you can change it up to however you need it. But yeah, that is all of the books or reading tracker spreads I've got. So I've got one final spread for you guys, and I haven't done this before in any of my journals. I only just did it for this 2022 journal, and it is a yearly playlist. So you guys know, if you've watched my monthly plan me videos or my monthly bullet journal setups, you know that I do my monthly playlists where I write down like 3 to 10 songs, depending on how many songs I have, or albums even, of basically music I've been listening to. And I have a real Spotify playlist as well, linked up below. If you guys want to listen to all of those monthly playlists, you can follow me on Spotify and listen there. But I basically split this page up into 12 boxes, and I have one song for each month. So I can choose my favorite song from that monthly playlist and put it in here, just so I can kind of have a kind of like a Spotify Wrapped, if you know what I mean. But in my bullet journal, basically my top 12 songs of the year, which I feel like will be really, really fun to see. But yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, be sure to like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell for more bullet journaling content from me. And for loads more New Year content, you can check out my 2022 bullet journal setup, which I did show briefly in this video. And I have loads and loads of podcast episodes going up all about New Year resetting, goal setting, resolutions, and also loads of the books I read last year and the books I'm looking forward to reading this year. I've got loads and loads of content going up, and also on my Instagram I have photos of all of these spreads that you guys can check out and show me some support over there as well. And I will see you next time. Bye guys!